Welcome back to All Chiefed Up. I am Steve. I'm here with Mike. Today we're going to be catching you up with what happened at camp over the weekend in St. Joe's. Also, if you've been liking the content, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the season starts. So make sure you're telling your friends, family, all the Chiefs fans who to be checking out on YouTube.
Okay, before we get into camp news, let's go ahead and talk about a few comments left in some of these videos. We don't usually call people out or do stuff like this, but I feel like some of this stuff needs to be addressed every once in a while.
We should make that a thing where we actually pull people's comments up and we'll reply to them right here on the show.
I like it. Don't always have to be negative. It can be positive. But today we got kind of a little snarky comment from a guy named Corey Thompson. He writes, "Did you guys just say breakaway speed for Juju? Question mark. Come on, man. Really? LOL. That's the furthest thing from his game." So first and foremost, we said he has breakaway speed. This guy runs a 4.5 something. He returned kicks and punts in college. He's returned kicks and punts in the NFL. And Steve is going to clip you about 5 plays in which Juju foot races, breakaway speeds, gets to the end zone, just breakaway. Like, look, we get it.
I mean, some of you guys really have to differentiate game speed with straight line speed and a 40 time and things like that, because someone's 40 time doesn't tell the hotel. So if you would, just watch these videos right now.
Roethlisberger gives a lot of room here. Juju Smith-Schuster off to the races inside the 30, the 20, the 10. Touchdown. 97 yards.
For a Bronco home game, and backpedaling to the end zone, getting rid of it, off the hit, and picking up a man in stride. It's Smith-Schuster. Smith-Schuster inside the 30, stiff arm, and he's going to go 97 yards for the touchdown.
Season for Deshaun Kaiser. That is Landry Jones and Pittsburgh respond. This is Juju Smith-Schuster from inside his own 5, breaking a tackle. Here he goes, the rookie into open terrain, breaking tackles. And the 21-year-old is into the end zone for the.
And then on top of that, it's like, I get it. 90% of Juju is going to be him working the middle, catching out routes, moving the chains, making a move here and there, and probably chunking off, 5 to 10 extra yards if he does. He's not always going to have that breaking speed, but to say he can't do that is just, it's not factual. Like the clips show it. This guy also has a comment on here saying that we said Jerry Neely was fast, but Jalen Watson wasn't, and that was comical. But again, Jerry Neely in short spaces, quick burst. Jalen Watson might have good straight line speed.
He's not very quick.
No, he's got closing speed issues.
That's one of the biggest knocks on Jalen Watson was he's not quick. Like he can't make quick cuts, this and that. I mean,
right. And if you're a corner that can't close back to the ball on these, stop and go routes and these little hitches and everything like that, you're not going to be playing very much because you're going to give up play after play after play, and they're just going to chunk you for 5 and 10 yards over and over until you lose. So you've got to be able to close on the ball. You got to be able to get there and break the passes up. He did it in college, but there was times he struggled in college. And again, he didn't play the best of competition. So in the NFL, it's going to be a big learning curve there.
But if they're just having a foot race and 40 yards, then maybe you're right.
Right. So, yeah. Okay, that wraps that up. We just wanted to talk about that today. And we're not talking bad about this guy, Corey. We're glad you watch the videos. We're glad you comment and interact.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, we just don't like when people are just coming out and throwing out accusations and saying this and that. And, like, you're not really attacking other people in the comments. I have seen that before. They'll probably get called out soon. But when people are commenting and having a good time, man, it's just their opinion. Let them talk football. This is just a place for us to all get together and talk football, man. If they're right, they're right. If they're wrong, they're wrong. To each their own. We don't
need any know-it-alls out there.
Yeah, I mean, come on. We got the podcast here, and we don't even claim we know it all. I mean, we're a bunch of idiots.
All right. What's been going on at camp this weekend, Mike? What you got?
Oh, man, we got a lot of camp stuff. So we didn't get to talk about it on the last video, but Leo, he had to be pulled out of camp on Saturday. He had a little bit of an overheating issue. Of course, he was asked about it, and they was like, he said that it was a different animal, coming down here. But, I also seen a guy on Twitter try to make a point that because Leo had to come out, in these practices because of some heat exhaustion or overheating, that he could not be talked about as being an impactful player this year because he's soft and he couldn't even prepare himself right. And I'm thinking, dude, do you understand? This is a problem. Do you remember the guy back in the day? I want to say it was like 2001 or 2002. He was a big tackle for the Vikings, Corey Stringer, and he had camp or something like that. He overheated, and then the next day he died. He died from heat exhaustion. This ain't nothing to mess with. You're not soft. Leo Chanel's not soft for getting overheated a little bit. That just means he went hard and he played well. And if you got to come out, you got to come out. That's not nothing to make fun of somebody over. I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, there's time and time again. Devonta Freeman just had to be pulled from practice last year, and you're telling me he's not a Pro Bowler and not a good player. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think Leo's coming from Wisconsin, where when it's hot in Wisconsin, it's about 90 degrees. It was 105, I think he'd indexed there yesterday in St. Joe's. So, I mean, I don't think any human's acclimated for that crap. So, yeah, definitely you don't mess with that. If there's any kind of signs of heat exhaustion, you go ahead and you take care of it. I mean, I just think it's silly for someone to say that's a problem, because absolutely not a problem.
Right. So also on Saturday, we had a couple standout players. Brian Cook, the safety, the rookie safety, he come in 7-on-7 drills. He had a monstrous, awesome fumble, a forced fumble that he put on him. They asked how he was being able to do this and how he felt at camp. And he said that ever since OTAs, the dude's been running. He's been doing gassers, sprints, jogging, you name it. If he had 5 minutes of free time, he was running. That's how he got prepared. And me and you know a little bit about that, because when you go to camp, oh my God, that's all you do is run.
Right, for sure. That's what he was talking about. Just run, run, run. That's how he prepared. I was just kind of, wondering though. I didn't get to see any of the footage, but they haven't even put pads on yet. So how do you force a fumble? Like, what's going on here?
I'm guessing. I haven't got to see the footage. I'm guessing maybe the guy caught the ball, brought it in. He come in and swiped it out. One of those hustle plays, something like that. Also on Saturday, the other big name that we'll mention, because we didn't get to talk about Saturday's practice, Jody Fortson. Apparently, Fortson looked great. In 7-on-7 drills, he had 3 touchdowns. So they said that it looked like Jody come back, kind of knocked off the rust. He was concerned over that leg. When you come back, you don't want to plan on it too hard. You don't want to push it too hard. But Coach Reed did say in the press conference that he felt Jody knocked the rust off, and he thinks he's going to be back better than ever this year.
Hey, Jody Fortson is an athlete, man. Like, he just has a lot of talent that he hasn't got to display yet. You got flashes of it last year before he got hurt. And I think he's extra motivated because he actually made the team last year and then had an season-ending injury. So he had a lot of time to sit and think about it. And I think he's ready to go. I think he's pumped. And we're going to see a lot of good things from Jody Fortson this year. He's definitely going to be on the team, like we talked about before. But I think he could have a bigger impact this year than people think.
And another Saturday note, Ojeni, the defensive end, he was drafted as a tight end. We were all kind of like, is this a mess up by the Chiefs? But no, they are moving him to defensive end. And he missed Saturday with something. He had to get a blood test ran, but he did get back to practice on Sunday.
All right, a couple of big plays on Sunday. Jarian Ely actually scored a touchdown in 7-on-7. Also, Leo Chanel, he got an interception off of Dustin Kroom. It was kind of a tip up and a bobble around before he caught it, which he said that always makes it a little less great in his opinion when you have to bobble it around. But Leo's a good guy, and he was entertaining in his one-on-one. So he was talking about that a little bit. He talked about the heat. He also talked about the snacks. We were talking about the snacks, Mike. They brought up the picture of him coming in with the Pringles and everything. Apparently, that's just his rookie duties. Those were some snacks that some of the other guys wanted, and he said that he does not endorse Pringles.
Okay, whatever you say, Leo. I know you're eating a can of Pringles, bro. Like, you ain't gonna lie. You ain't gotta lie to us.
He's got some salt and vinegar Pringles right now.
Right. So yeah, those were 2 good performances there by those players. Another top guy on Sunday was Cornell Powell. He stuck out immensely today. Of course, he was drafted in the 5th round. We wanted to see him progress. He stayed on our practice squad all year. And after today, it looks like that actually did something. In the past 2 practices, he's had 10 receptions, and his hands look a lot better. His route running looks a lot better. Today, he had a couple really good catches in the 7-on-7s. He had a full extension sideline catch. A few snaps later, he had another amazing catch off the left side. And he even caught a red zone touchdown from Chad Henne today. So Cornell Powell's looking really good. And this is another thing we talked about with Justyn Ross's absence of him not being able to stay on the field. He's giving guys like Watson and Cornell Powell and Fountain, he's giving those guys a chance to come in and showcase what they got. And that doesn't always bode well for guys that can't stay on the field. And that was our knock with Justyn Ross. Like, he has to get on the field.
Right. Cornell Powell, I still think he probably is a practice squad player this year. I highly doubt that he makes a 53-man roster, especially with that insane wide receiver room we got now. But it is nice to see him making strides. If he's improved from last season, that means he's on the right path. So who's to say that he won't be on this team next season?
Back to Jody Fortson. He made another monster play today, too. He caught a touchdown in the corner over Josh Williams, rookie Josh Williams. And then he flexed on him. He was like,
yeah.
So he flexed on him. Josh Williams afterwards was like, dude, he got me. I'm going to get him back. It shows his character, you know, his will. But he talks about how Fortson is a straight beast, which we know.
Hey, speaking of Josh Williams, we left him out of a previous video when we were ranking the rookies' impact for this year. Complete accident. We just went off a list that we found, and we thought someone was missing, but we just didn't, look that much into it, and it just slipped our minds completely. But no disrespect to Josh Williams. If I had to put him in on that, I think I left in the comments to a couple of people that pointed that out. I still think he would be in that 7 to 9 range on that list of who's going to be the most impactful, because I think he has a chance of making the team this year, and he has a chance of getting a lot of playing time, really. But it's also a deep defensive back room, so who knows?
So today, Mahomes, he looked good as well. Obviously, he looks good. There's a clip going around with Mahomes taking a snap, going behind the back. What's new? That for Mahomes, that's nothing new. We're used to it. It's still amazing, though. Can you imagine anybody else doing it? But with Mahomes, we're all like, eh.
Yeah, they posted it on NFL.com on all their social media and everything. And of course, all the comments were just completely negative. Like,
that's a pick six, or this is stupid. He needs to be practicing normal passes because he can't pass.
And, all kinds of dumb stuff, like no one can have fun. Like, it's insane. Like, even with this podcast or just like the players in general, or just, I don't know, anything these days, you can't have fun with it. You can't just enjoy things and like them for what they are. Everyone has to debate everything. And it's not that I'm against debate, because it's always fun to talk and get people's different opinions and perspectives and things like that. But it's not much of a debate when people just act like they know everything, and they're so matter of fact, and it's just kind of annoying.
Mahomes looked good today. He hit, I want to say, 7 different receivers in 7-on-7 drills. He threw a amazing sidearm bullet pass to Sky Moore. Sky Moore's looked pretty good, speaking of him. The biggest shocker from Sky Moore, though, is not a catch. It's a drop. Sky Moore dropped the pass. After all offseason, we're talking about Sky Moore so sure-handed. Mahomes had him in the end zone, and he lets a ball go right through his hands, right in and out of his hands. And Scott, hey, let's get it out of the way early.
That's what I'm saying. It's camp. If you're going to drop stuff, drop it in camp.
Hey, we hate talking about the Bengals here. Don't get me wrong. But do you guys remember last year in the preseason, Jamar Chase dropped everything, and they said Jamar Chase would be a bust. And then look at him. Yeah. Now they've got him in the top 5 wide receivers in the league. So, I mean, come on. Let's not talk about preseason that much. This is why you can't put too much stock in it. But, yeah, Sky Moore's known to be sure-handed, and he is. So I thought that was funny that, I think that's the biggest thing we're going to remember is him dropping a pass finally, it speaks to Sky Moore, obviously. But then the last thing we got for camp today, Spags had the defensive players come out on the field before practice. Before practice started, he had all the defenders out there. He was going through with the rookies and the young guys. He wanted to get them some extra info, positioning stuff. He wanted to make sure that the call-outs, the defensive call-outs, came a little easier. They didn't have to think so much. I thought that was awesome by Spags. It's showing that these coaching staff, I know the linebacker coach that we just brought in, he's showing a lot of extra attention. Leo talks about it. They're doing a good job of getting these rookies ready to go, because the vets report Monday tonight. They report this afternoon, and the first full team practice is going to be on Wednesday. So he wants to make sure that these guys have had enough walkthrough, and that way when the vets get there, they don't get left behind. Like, he wants them to fit in seamlessly. I think that's amazing. Like, our coaches do a really good job of that every year.
Right. And I don't think it's going to stop at the rookies. There's a lot of new guys on this team this year. So there's a lot of guys coming in from different places. they don't know the system. I think you're going to see a lot of things like that this camp. You're going to have a little extra attention on things like that, and I think that's amazing. The coaches are definitely doing what they need to be doing.
So by the time you're watching this, they've probably already had Monday's practice as well. Probably not going to be a lot of stuff to talk about Monday's practices. Usually Coach Reed gives off the veterans the Monday morning practice, kind of let them rest. At least Mahomes will get it off, probably Henne. So you'll see Kroom and maybe Bouchel out there throwing most of the passes for the day. But yeah, there probably going to be a lot of crazy stuff happens Monday's practice. But yeah, everybody comes in Monday evening. The first full team practice will be Wednesday, I believe. And I'm just looking forward to August 1st, man. That's when they get to start putting the pads on and hitting a little bit. And Leo said he can't wait for that.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Leo's all pumped for that. They asked him if he had that day marked on his calendar, and he was like, yeah, I can't wait to hit somebody. I'm just waiting to hit somebody. But he's like, not our quarterbacks, of course. He's like, but eventually I'm going to get to hit someone.
Yeah, don't ever touch Patrick Mahomes. Darian Kennard has made the switch from blue hair to red hair. The transition is done. He's in full red locks. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he said he promised that he would do that because he had the blue hair from when he played at UK. The funny thing about it is I asked him who did his hair, and it was actually someone that still lives in Lexington. So Kennard still hanging out in Lexington right before he went to camp. He got that hair colored red.
You know, we deal with it too because we're from Kentucky. Obviously, we're diehard Kentucky fans. It's all about here. Our rival is the Louisville Cardinals, who is complete red. So when we walk around wearing red Chiefs gear, everybody's like, what are y'all doing? And it's like, I'm sure Kennard hating Louisville for the whole time he was in college, like that had to hurt him a little bit putting that red in the hair. But you know,
look,
you realize it's not the same. You gotta back the Chiefs above everything else, man.
If he was hanging out in Lexington up until camp, that's probably why he waited till the last minute to go ahead and dye that hair red.
100%. You're walking around in Lexington with red hair, you're going to get egged and
especially if you're Darian Kennard.
Yeah, so if you're from the Kentucky area, you know it. The Louisville Kentucky rivalry is diehard, man. You don't want to be in Lexington even with a red car. They may throw something at you. So
it's like the Duke and North Carolina kind of rival thing. It's just as intense or more.
Yeah, I'm sure Kansas has it with somebody. What is it, Mizzou? Probably Kansas, Missouri.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're not even in the same conference, but they hate each other.
Are you talking about the colleges? Did you happen to see where someone from Missouri had put something on Twitter, and Lonnie Johnson replied, totally dogging out Mizzou, saying Big Blue Nation and all this stuff, and how they couldn't hang and everything. And of course, everybody, you know, a lot of Chiefs fans are Mizzou fans, so he was hearing about it. But hey, I felt him on that. Me and Lonnie, we were on the same wavelength.
Dude, you know, when we played, and I think it was one of the first few seasons Missouri actually moved to the SEC, we had to face Drew Lock, and Kentucky fans hated Drew Lock.
All right, that's going to wrap up what we have on camp for over the weekend. I'm sure there'll be more coming up soon. We'll get to that. Thanks for watching today. Hit that like button. Also, hit the subscribe button. Like I said earlier, trying to get to 1,000 before the season starts. So we're going to need your help on that one. So if you're not subscribed yet, make sure to get down there and smash that subscribe button. Also, just wanted to send out some well wishes to Cole DeRoos over at How About Those Chiefs. We noticed that he had not put a video up one day, and we were like, what in the world's going on here? And then, of course, he put up a post saying that he was dealing with some sickness, some back issues, and was having a lot of trouble with that. I feel him. I have both of those all the time. So best wishes to him. Speedy recovery for you. Get back on there. Keep killing it like you have been. And you guys go check out his last video right up here. And we'll catch you next time, Chiefs Kingdom.
See ya.
Aside from my soul. There goes a sight,